It's not until you recognize that the appearance and reality are quite different and the depth goes much further than you might expect that you really begin to appreciate the Gospels. Let me briefly state what some of the correspondences are between the numbers. It may help inform your reading of Scripture as a whole. The number 1, God. Yahweh is the unique monotheistic entity. 1 is always associated with God. 2, on the other hand, is always associated with society. If you go back, say, to the book of Deuteronomy, you will find that the number of witnesses necessary to prove a charge against a malefactor is 2. 1 witness will not be enough. 2 is always the number of society. Think of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. 2 is connected with the human social world. 3, on the other hand, is a heavenly number, a divine number. It's the Trinitarian number. Have you noticed that there's a lot of triads, a lot of 3 of things that cruises right through, particularly the Gospel of John, but all the Gospels? This is not accidental. Anytime you see 3 of something, heavenly references are being made. It is always celestial. Now, 4 is the number of the earth. 4 is consistent with the 4 points of the compass, the 4 directions. It is consistent with this worldly things. It is symbolic of this world of space and time. Whenever you have 4 of something, you have the human world. The number 5 is the number of man. 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. Whenever you see 5 of anything, imperfection and humanity is always being suggested. The number 6 is evil. It is incompleteness. It is moral corruption. Whenever you see 6, something bad is going to happen in the Bible. When you see 3 6s, the intensification of 666, as it's referred to in the book of the Apocalypse, we have an extreme celestial example of evil. In other words, what we have is the number of the beast, the number of the Antichrist. It's not that John pulled the number 666 out of his head. It means something. Well, 7 is the number of perfection. Had you noticed that 7 is the addition of 3 and 4? It's the addition of heaven and earth? Well, it turns out then that perfection is 7. That's why we get 7 of things in many cases. Whenever you see an example of 7 of something happening in the Gospels, some union of heaven and earth is occurring at the symbolic level. Do not overlook that. It makes all the difference. 12 is the number of harmony. 12 tribes of Israel, 12 apostles. 12 is a very complete number. When Judas commits suicide, the number of Jesus' followers is reduced to 11. They have to get another one. Why? Because 11 is not an auspicious number. 12 is the number of harmony, and that's what we will need in order to complete the group of Jesus' followers. And 40 is the number of completion, finishing. Think of 40 years in the desert in the book of Exodus. Think of Jesus wandering 40 days in the desert as he purifies himself prior to being tempted by Satan. 40 is not just one more than 39. 40 is the number of the completed task. And that makes all the difference. If you ever see 40 of anything in the Bible, something is being completed. Do not think it is one more than 39 or one less than 41. Mathematics could be done like that then, but it had a much greater meaning. The symbolism is where it's really at in biblical numerology. I would emphasize, and I cannot emphasize too strongly, that you cannot read Scripture too carefully.